I had been in a relationship with Tony for 7 years. Everyone knew how deeply I loved him. No one could have predicted that I would break up with Tony and marry a man I had only known for half a year. When the clock struck midnight, I didn't receive a birthday message from my boyfriend Tony, with whom I had been together for 7 years. Instead, I saw a post on his social media from an hour earlier, showing him and his friends in a group photo. He said he had an important engagement today, just a gathering of men, and told me not to worry. But the corner of the European-style mirror betrayed him, reflecting the short skirts and high heels of the ladies present. He remembered his promises to his friends and the clients, but always said to me, "Haley, can you wait a little longer?" He knew I would never refuse him. I would always wait for him. My best friend Alice carefully watched my expression, trying to lighten the mood. "Haley, happy birthday." My phone buzzed with birthday messages. Even the restaurant we frequented sent a message at midnight. Orchid Western Restaurant wishes Miss Haley a happy birthday and offers a complimentary coupon. Yet there was no message from my boyfriend of 7 years, Tony. Seeing my pale face, Alice feigned indifference to cheer me up. "It's fine. Why worry about those jerks? Our girls' party is about to start." Champagne was popped, and a group of girls surrounded me, cheering and laughing. Someone teasingly asked, "Haley, where's your guy?" Alice pinched her waist, signaling her to hush. "We're having a girls' night. Why do we need that jerk here?" Right. They probably have their own little world to enjoy. Who knows, maybe he's preparing a surprise for you. A mutual friend of Tony and me leaned in and whispered, "I saw Peter picking something up at the jewelry store. What do you think he could be getting? And who else would he give it to?" Peter, Tony's best buddy, had been close to him since college. They laughed and teased. "Looks like we'll be drinking to Haley's wedding soon." Alice noticed my relaxed brows and finally let out a sigh of relief. I couldn't suppress the smile tugging at my lips. The clouds of gloom lifted, and I felt bright and hopeful. The party continued until after 2. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Peter. Everyone exchanged knowing glances with me. The implication clear, the main event was coming. "Put it on speaker. Put it on speaker," they urged. Unable to resist their persistence, I reluctantly put it on speaker, eagerly waiting for Peter to say, "Sister-in-law, open the door." Then my man, whom I had loved for 7 years, would kneel with flowers, with everyone witnessing our love. But that didn't happen. The voice on the other end was loud and raucous, and I could even hear the tipsy girls giggling. "Hey, sister-in-law, Tony's drunk. Can you come pick him up? We're at Chunyu Club." At the mention of that club, my friends fell silent, the atmosphere awkward. I knew Chunyu Club. It was recently embroiled in a scandal. He didn't come to celebrate my birthday but went drinking at that club. I declined Alice's offer to join me and drove alone to the club Peter mentioned. The streetlights cast a lonely glow around me. It was my birthday, and he was drinking. I couldn't help but recall our first year together. That year on my birthday followed the same pattern. First, a party with my friends, then a private celebration with Tony. Back then, he was always busy. After our party, I found him waiting downstairs. He said he wanted to treat me and my friends to dinner. He was a senior in college, known to be out of reach, and he had planned the whole day meticulously, caring for everyone. "Thank you all for coming to celebrate Haley's birthday. Having you as friends is Haley's fortune." He was broke then, only able to give me a set of skincare products. It was a hefty price for him at that time. Later, when he was busy starting his business, I thought he wouldn't have time to celebrate my birthday, and since he was on a business trip, he probably wouldn't return. I planned to get through the day somehow, but the next morning, he knocked on my door, looking worn and tired, his eyes bloodshot and his handsome face a bit ragged. He enveloped me in a cold embrace. "Happy birthday, my darling." How could he say those words so naturally and tenderly? It melted my heart. Why could he do that back then? But now it felt like a luxury. Maybe it was because I came in like a storm, like a rightful wife catching a cheating husband. The manager hurriedly escorted me to the private room, following closely behind, afraid I would cause a scene. I felt a chill in my heart. I had never doubted Tony, but now I couldn't help but wonder how many times he had lingered in places like this during those countless nights away. The manager opened the door to the room, and seeing nothing too scandalous, there were even no women, he sighed in relief. The party had mostly wound down, with a few of Tony's close buddies standing up to greet me. Big sister, sister-in-law. These were the friends who had started their business with Tony, and though they had all grown into capable individuals, they now looked at me like mice before a cat. Our relationship was as close as siblings. Now, they saw my stern face, and dared not breathe a word. Tony lay on the sofa, eyes closed, so obedient, just like when we first met. I shot them a fierce glare. "I'll deal with you all later." I told them to help carry Tony to the car. A few dazed, half-drunk men fumbled about. Suddenly, the door burst open, and a young girl in a revealing outfit stumbled in. Sorry, boss. I left my bag here. The bag was right behind Tony. My heart sank completely. They helped Tony into the front passenger seat. The seat was reclined, and he slept peacefully. I stood by the car, looking at the dark sky. Even at night, New York was bustling and unceasing. Peter lowered his head, stammering to explain. It was the partner's choice of venue. They were the ones he found. It was all just for show. We wouldn't dare to mess with people like that. Sister-in-law, nothing really happened. If it weren't for Tony being drunk, we probably wouldn't have left until 3. I felt irritated and touched my suit pocket. There was still half a pack of cigarettes inside. I pulled one out and handed it to Peter, but he reached for it and I swatted his hand away. Light it up. Peter looked at me, puzzled. I frowned. No lighter? I have it. He fumbled through his pockets and pulled out a windproof lighter. His movements a bit frantic as he lit the cigarette for me. The smoke curled up as I lit it, but didn't take a puff, letting it burn slowly. What do you mean, just for show? Peter hesitated. We just drank together. Drank? How did you drink? A bunch of men and women just drinking together? What exactly happened? Sitting on laps? Wrapping arms around each other? Kissing? Realizing I was genuinely angry, Peter dropped the act, urgency in his voice. Nothing like that. There were girls around, but nothing happened. Tony was off in the corner. No woman could get close to him. The cigarette burned down to the end, and I suddenly felt calm. I nodded and turned to the driver's seat. As the car was about to pull away, Peter suddenly leaned down and said, "Hey, my brother really didn't do anything." I glanced at him, rolled up the window, and drove away. I struggled to get Tony onto the sofa, and I was too exhausted to move him anymore. In his sleep, he faintly resembled the clean, pure boy he once was. Over the years, he had matured greatly, growing so fast that I hadn't had time to adjust. And now he had become a rising star in the business world. The girl who had just barged in looked innocent, her demeanor shy like a little rabbit. Not just Tony, I felt a surge of protectiveness for her too. I had heard of that club. It was notorious. A dividing line of class, signifying that Tony had officially entered a different circle. I believed Tony hadn't done anything. When Peter called me his sister, I had already believed it. If before, I only wanted to break up while he was away, now I was decided. I truly wanted to break up with him, even if I stormed into the club as his rightful wife. Even if all of Tony's friends called me sister-in-law, even if Tony was innocent and pure, I still wanted to break up with him. I may not have many strengths, but my decisiveness is something no one can doubt. Just like when I first saw Tony and boldly pursued him. Just like when he was starting his business. I had given him my entire study abroad fund without hesitation. Now, I wanted to break up with him, no second guessing. Not even a force of nature could stop me. Sure, here's the translation with proper line breaks. Every sudden decision is made after careful consideration. I don't know when it started, but this relationship no longer brings me joy. It has gradually turned into anxiety and doubt. I felt terrible, but I still packed my things overnight and contacted a moving company the next morning. By the time everything was settled, Tony hadn't yet woken up from his hangover. I escaped to my best friend's house to catch up on sleep, only to wake up in the evening with the setting sun. Alone in the empty room, realizing that besides overwhelming loneliness, my stomach was growling. Then, my phone popped up with that complimentary voucher. I decided to go to Orchid Restaurant for a meal, which was originally my plan to celebrate a wonderful birthday with Tony. I couldn't waste my voucher. I found myself in a large private room, tossing aside my suit jacket and kicking off my high heels, indulging in the food. I actually like the dishes at Orchid Restaurant. It's just that before, I either came here with Tony and his group of brothers or to discuss business with him. When dining with Tony's brothers, I was the sister-in-law, taking care of everyone, pouring drinks and ordering food. I knew the tastes and dislikes of all his brothers, ensuring everything was perfect. Who wouldn't admire me as the perfect wife? Dealing with Tony's business partners was even more exhausting. Handling all sorts of lawsuits, dealing with their women and secretaries, constantly being mindful of dining etiquette, and sometimes facing business confrontations. It was more tiring than a battle, and his partners often praised me, saying Tony had a supportive wife. I even managed to turn some of the women interested in Tony into friends, and I still have good relations with some of them. Supportive wife. Only married women can be called that. What do you call an unmarried one? A girlfriend? I've been dating him for 7 years, enjoying the treatment of a girlfriend for 2 years, and for 5 years, I've been playing the role of his wife. Yet, I am still just his girlfriend. Thinking back over the years, Tony and I have never had a meal alone at Orchid Restaurant. This relationship started with me taking the initiative, but I can't be the one to take the initiative in everything. It's too unfair. I ate without any grace, even using my hands to tackle some of the harder-to-eat dishes, getting greasy everywhere. Suddenly, the male waiter knocked on the door and brought me a bottle of wine while I was happily eating, and we stared at each other. If he dared to laugh at me, he'd be in trouble. However, the handsome waiter was very professional, presenting a bottle of wine with a warm smile, which I estimated was worth over 6 figures. I hadn't ordered any wine. "Miss Haley, this wine is a gift from our boss." I expressionlessly grabbed a napkin to wipe the grease from my mouth. "I don't drink." The waiter smiled appropriately. "This is a low-alcohol white wine. You can keep it here and share it with your husband." The boss must know me, but he's mistaken. What husband? Just an ex-boyfriend. Is this a gift because of Tony? I'm single again, and previous connections can be considered null and void. I don't need the wine. I wasn't sure if I was mistaken, but the strikingly handsome waiter's eyes suddenly brightened. Is he happy that someone is single? It's fine. You can share it with your friends. This wine is perfect for ladies, and it's a personal gift from our boss. There are no strings attached. Well, that intrigued me. Just thinking about bringing my good friends here to eat and drink it will make all my chaotic emotions vanish. And the heavy clouds lifted. Indeed, single life is wonderful. Just casually coming out to eat, I met such a handsome waiter and received a nice bottle of wine. Why are you back again? Is your boss sending me more things? I was holding the tail of a lobster, gnawing on it without any grace. Why does he always come when I look the least dignified? I don't care about appearances. The waiter chuckled lightly. This is your birthday cake. Every guest receives one on their birthday. Since you're here alone today, we prepared one serving. Even the birthday cake reminds me that I'm now single, which is quite novel. After all, breaking up after 7 years with my first love is something I'm not used to. I'd been hungry all day. After finishing this lobster, I was nearly full. I had planned to order a dessert afterward, but that won't be necessary now, though this cake is a bit large. Do you have time now? I asked him. I'm at your service, Miss Haley. Perfect. Celebrate my birthday with me. Come on, help me light the candles. I went to the restroom to tidy up. When I returned, the post-meal mess had been cleared, and the extremely handsome waiter was lighting the candles for me. I truly believe the service here is more attentive than at Heideleo. They even prepared a Swarovski crystal crown for my birthday. Is it really that impressive? The custom candles read 18, although the cake looked a bit ugly and haphazard. It's understandable that they had to prepare it quickly since I came unexpectedly. The candles burned like little fireworks from a fairy wand. When the lights went out and the candles were lit, it looked incredibly beautiful. I thought that was the limit, but then the waiter actually started singing, "Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Miss Tion." Tony has never sung me happy birthday before. It was such a delightful evening. Not only did I enjoy a meal I had never experienced before, but I also shared a cake with the handsome waiter. I packed a bottle of red wine to take home to enjoy with my dear friend Alice. She got excited as soon as she heard about my breakup and said she'd throw a single party to celebrate my escape from Tony's clutches in a few days. As for the white wine they gifted me, I felt embarrassed to take it home, so I'll leave it at the restaurant for the next time I come with Alice. I carried my high heels and draped my suit jacket over my arm, walking out barefoot and lazily. I don't know if I'll meet love around the corner, but I literally bumped into my ex-boyfriend just after breaking up with him. Tony looked at me with surprise. He rarely showed such an expression, as his business experiences had polished him into someone who rarely reveals emotions. Peter was surprised to see me too, but now wasn't the time for that. "Sister-in-law, why didn't you answer the phone? Tony's been looking for you all day." We were almost frantic. I flicked my hair, the earrings jingling. "Looking for me? For what?" "I forgot to charge my phone. I'm 25. I can't get lost." "Oh right, I broke up with your brother. Don't call me sister-in-law anymore. I'm 2 years younger than you. You can still call me sister." I patted his shoulder. "Business is business. Let's keep it civil." Peter looked almost desperate. "What? Sister-in-law, are you still upset about what happened last night?" "I swear to you, Tony absolutely did nothing wrong. If I'm lying, I'll be single for life." I laughed. "Are you serious? Playing it that serious?" Peter suddenly felt a bit panicked. The more indifferent I was, the more it proved I had moved on, which was definitely not what he wanted to see. Since Tony started his business, the woman by his side has never changed. When the conditions were poor, a few men couldn't take care of themselves, and I handled all their meals and daily needs. Who hasn't faced my scolding? Who doesn't respect me from the bottom of their hearts? Breaking up with Tony is equivalent to a divorce in his eyes. Haley, let's go back and talk properly. Tony's voice still carried a hint of hoarseness from his hangover. We can talk, but I don't need to go back. I have plans with Alice. I was holding the wine to leave, but Tony grabbed my arm. Haley, come back with me. My head hurts. I pried his hand off. Tony, I don't want to go back today. I'll call you tomorrow and we can have a proper conversation to end this. I don't want it to end. He surprisingly showed some agitation. I suspected he hadn't sobered up yet. Let's talk about it tomorrow. I'm leaving now. Sticking around in this situation clearly wasn't wise. Don't go, sister-in-law. Can't we talk this out properly? Peter anxiously tried to grab me. This situation was too sudden, creating more anxiety than any severe financial crisis he had faced before. I dodged his hand, but the bottle of red wine I was holding suddenly slipped, spilling the red liquid everywhere and staining my white legs, which looked rather shocking. My foot hurt. What came to mind was, thankfully I hadn't packed that bottle of white wine. Otherwise, I would have wasted 6 figures right on the floor. I really am quite prescient. Is this waiter guy serving me exclusively today? Do super VIPs have this kind of treatment? I feel extremely tall and important now. 3 men are fussing over my injured foot in a flurry. Tony is holding my calf. Peter is supporting me. The waiter guy pulls out the white cloth from his shirt pocket and bandages my wound. So big a person, why are you still walking barefoot? Tony frowns. I can walk however I want. Do you have the right to control me? We've broken up and you still come to mind my business. You're really meddlesome. Tony helplessly glares at me. Do you have to always contradict me? Humph. I roll my eyes. The wound is a bit deep. It may need stitches. A doctor should handle it. Tony and the waiter both want to carry me at the same time. What a love triangle situation. Tony is incredulous. Obviously, he doesn't understand why this waiter dares not take other people's boyfriends seriously. The waiter is unashamed. Does he think others can't hear? The guest said she is single. Well, why don't you two lift me up? Tony's dignity as the official partner is still very strong. He comes to hold my waist. I dodge and cling to the waiter's shoulder. Haley, don't be naughty. Your foot is bleeding. Oh, don't touch me. After breaking up, we should avoid suspicion. Tony is almost amused by anger. Haley, even sentencing requires a charge. You sentenced me to death without going through the procedures. At least allow people to appeal, right? Anyway, I don't want you to carry me. I just won't. Then let Peter carry you. Tony backs down. I still want to argue. Tony directly loses his temper. Don't talk nonsense with me. There's so much blood on your foot. Don't you feel pain? If it gets inflamed and leaves a scar because we're late, I'll see where you cry. Okay, jerk. Peter can carry me then. Be steady. You're always out drinking. I think you look a bit weak. I look at Peter's dark circles and say, as soon as Peter hears this, to prove he's not weak, he walks briskly. You see, sister, I'm so steady. Who's weak? I pretend not to see his heavy breathing. Peter is driving. Tony and the waiter are sitting on either side of me. Who is he? Why is he following? Tony's eyes on the waiter are burning with anger. I turn my head to look at the waiter. What's your name? Rocky. Ming as in tomorrow. Zhu as in candlelight. You don't even know his name and you want him to carry you? Tony only feels that his anger is rising in clusters today. Now I know, don't I? Haley, what exactly are you trying to do? Before you've gotten rid of me, you want to find someone else? I am silent for a while. I want to. If you don't like it, then call the police. Law only protects marriage, not love affairs. Rocky is really a wonderful person. He can even add a cutting remark. Tony is so angry that he turns his head to look out of the window. Fortunately, it doesn't need stitches, but most likely, it will leave a scar. After the doctor treats the wound, he tells me to change the dressing on time and come back for a recheck in a week. I don't want to go back with Tony. All right, let Peter send me to Alice's place. Everyone disperse. Perhaps my resistance is too obvious. Tony doesn't insist. Where did you move all your things? I bought an apartment. I told you about it before. Don't worry about me having no place to live. Tony lowers his eyes and nods helplessly. By the way, Rocky, why are you following? Won't your boss deduct your salary? You didn't take your birthday crown. I brought it out for you. You got injured in the store. We are also partly responsible. Of course I have to follow. Peter suddenly exclaims. It's sister-in-law's birthday today. Look at this. I remembered it originally, but I got drunk yesterday and forgot. I've even prepared a birthday present. I smile. No need. It's almost over. Save it for your girlfriend later. Peter's birthday presents every year are nothing more than jewelry and watches. Saving it to give as a small gift to his girlfriend later is not impolite. Tony suddenly looks up, his face a bit pale. He explains weakly, I didn't forget. I drank too much last night. In business, one always has to let others have a good time. I was planning to be with you yesterday. I shake my head. It doesn't matter anymore. It's almost over. My birthday is like this. So is our relationship. I really want to give Orchid Western Restaurant a pennant. This is not just Hey DeLeo style service. This is like looking for a needle in a haystack service. Not only did they reimburse my medical expenses, but they also took care of my meals during my injury. They deliver food on time every day. They are extremely considerate. The one who delivers is Rocky. Miss Haley, the boss asked me to be responsible for you. Looking at the handsome guy in front of me, I still can't help but spit out a mouthful of water. What kind of responsibility? This has nothing to do with you. What responsibility do you have? Did your boss scold you? Well, not yet. He said this matter is my responsibility. From now on, I'll take care of your 3 meals, changing dressings, and moving buckets. Until your wound heals, I am yours. This is very awkward. Service to this extent? Sending a waiter for home service? No need. Really no need. Go back quickly. I try to persuade him patiently. Rocky blinks innocently. The boss said, come and get paid. Don't come and get deducted salary. So, sister, would you be willing to let such a handsome guy get deducted salary? This is really delivered right to my doorstep. As soon as I'm single, such a gorgeous guy is delivered. This is tempting me to make mistakes. Then do you still want me? Well, why not? Tony sent me a Facebook message. How's your foot? Does it still hurt? Shall I make pig's trotter soup for you? For a moment, I can't even tell if this is concern or mockery. This sentence always reveals a hint of desolation of eating what's lacking. I feel like crying a bit. You say he's so good to me. How come we can't make it work? Asking myself, Tony is really a good lover. For 7 years, he has never failed to come home at night. He has never failed to give me a good morning kiss in the morning. He's really a perfect gentleman. Up to now, I still firmly believe that my vision is extremely good. Only then could I find such a treasure like Tony. But there's no way. In this relationship, I can't see how to take the next step. Isn't being content with the status quo good? No. Breaking up with Tony is nothing less than cutting out a piece of my heart. No need. I'm fine. When you have time, let's go through property division. Tony's company has 40% of the shares owned by me. I am the largest shareholder of the company. Tony, the real boss, only has 20%. If we're going to split, we split thoroughly. Leave no way back. I don't dare to bet on whether I will turn back. I have the white jade pig's trotter soup stewed by professional chefs in Orchid Western Restaurant. I don't want to be greedy for that home-cooked soup simmered slowly over a low fire anymore. Unexpectedly, the first time Tony and I came to Orchid Western Restaurant alone for a meal was after our breakup. In a small private booth by the window, we can see the neon-lit night view of New York. The cruise ships in the river not far away can be vaguely seen. I was pushed over by Rocky sitting in a wheelchair. Thanks to the needle in a haystack service of Orchid Western Restaurant. Thanks again. The documents are all here. You can take them back and read them, then sign them and send them to me. Haley. Tony interrupts me. Can we talk about these later? I want to know the reason why you want to break up with me. He looks at Rocky. Mr. Rocky, can you excuse us for a moment? I have to take care of Miss Haley's daily life. She's not convenient to move now. I have to avoid secondary injuries at all times. Haley, we haven't broken up yet. Tony ignores him. Just like the day I went to pick him up. He has the unshakable confidence of the main wife and the inevitable jealousy in his eyes. Rocky, you can go out first. There won't be a secondary injury. If there's anything, I'll call you. You can order something to eat. I'll reimburse all your expenses. Rocky nods obediently. You don't need to spend money. Call me if you need anything. He's really good at this. When he says these words, his obviously bright face is as obedient as a sensible younger brother. Of course, not like Peter. Tony only feels that this person is full of the word green tea even in the seams of his clothes. Obviously having ulterior motives, yet pretending to be innocent and obedient. I think there's no problem with our relationship. Haley, you sentenced me to death. I want to know the charge. Looking at his sincere and passionate eyes, I only feel a lump in my heart. The charge? Let me think. There's no charge. I only have a few questions. Tony's fingers move. He is now in a state of panic. If today I directly tell him all my dissatisfaction, maybe he can still refute one by one and respond. But if it's questions, if he can answer the questions, then there would already be answers. It can only prove that he has turned a blind eye to these questions. He didn't sleep all night last night. He was reflecting on himself and thinking about this relationship. What exactly went wrong? However, he didn't get a result, because he can firmly say that his feelings are without fault. There is no problem at all. Tony, I just want to know, have you made plans for our future? Of course. I certainly. Don't be so absolute. Since you have made plans, then tell me, when will we get married? When will we have children? When will you take me to meet your parents? What kind of ring and wedding dress will we have for our wedding? What kind of auspicious day will we choose, and where will we hold the wedding? Who will we invite to our wedding banquet? When will you go to my house, meet my parents, and propose to me? Tony's face is as white as paper. He is silent. He hasn't thought about it. The last bit of hope in my heart completely disappears. I originally wanted to call Rocky in to push me back, but Tony hurriedly takes out a small dark red velvet box from his suit pocket. He is incoherent and can't even speak clearly. Haley, I wanted to propose to you on your birthday. I press his hand that is about to open the box. Tony's hand freezes there. I smile and shake my head. There's no need to open it. Brother Tony, before yesterday, on any day of the 7 years, even on the day we just got together, if you made a ring out of rose branches and proposed to me, I would agree. But yesterday has passed. Missed is missed. I don't want his hasty decision. I ask Rocky to push me away. At the moment the door closes, Tony collapses on the chair. He looks at the world outside the window and doesn't know what he's thinking. At a certain moment, a drop of water on his chin extinguishes the tiny spark stalemate between his fingers, only leaving a pair of pants full of ashes and a wisp of gray smoke. He takes out that ring. He has been preparing this ring a year ago, but it is given to the right person at the wrong time. Even if it's only 1 day late, it's useless. He always thought that the feelings between them could withstand everything. He always thought that since their love is stronger than gold, it doesn't need to be maintained. He always feels that a man should have responsibility and courage. Only when he can give her the best life can he spend the rest of his life with her. He just didn't think carefully. Haley doesn't need material security at all. What she needs more is a promise for the future, to be immersed in love for the rest of her life. There are many things that Haley doesn't know. He never planned to tell her, whether it's in the past or in the future. He was so poor that he only had dignity and backbone before, and he can't use pity to win back this relationship. Tony puts the ring on his little finger. The man's knuckles are long and slender. It fits just right, but this was originally supposed to be worn on his wife's ring finger. At the moment the door closes, I can't help but shed tears. 7 years of relationship can't be broken just like that. Tony and I have been together for 7 years. We have long become a part of each other's lives. To break up, it's like cutting out the heart and flesh. It's extremely painful. 7 years ago, when I just entered college, I came to New York from Iowa. During Christmas, I went out to play with my roommate. In an unfamiliar place, we got separated in the huge square. After playing for a whole day, my phone had no power. I couldn't even contact them, let alone use navigation. Even if I borrowed someone else's phone, I couldn't remember the phone number. At a loss, I could only sit on a bench and cry. Tony appeared in front of me at that time. He saw my student ID and came to ask if I was a student of Haida University. He was very business-minded at that time. There were many couples dating on Christmas Eve. Roses and apples were sold in bundles and sold out. He was a thorough businessman. Even if it was a high price for bundled sales, it seemed very cost-effective. At that time, he only had a few somewhat wilted roses left. The apples and wrapping paper were all gone. He bought a newspaper from a newsstand for $1. With his slender and dexterous hands, he made a bouquet for me. At that time, I wished I could smash my Apple phone that I had bought not long ago. It consumed power so quickly. I couldn't hit myself. I just wanted to smash the phone. I hesitated while wiping away tears. Suddenly, a bouquet of roses was handed to me. At that moment, he seemed like a beam of light, shining only on me. Are you lost? His eyes are so sharp. Just by casually looking, he found a girlfriend. He is also from Haida University. He is already a senior this year. Just after selling all his things, he folded up the empty cart and took me back by the way. As soon as I came back, Alice came back too, jumping up and down. She told me that she met that aloof flower on the way back. Judging from her description, it was the senior who had just sent me back. Alice looked at the roses in my hand and jumped up like Tigger. Today is not Valentine's Day. How did the matchmaker draw the red thread? Nonsense. The matchmaker doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day. This famous aloof flower in Haida University swept all kinds of scholarships in 4 years of college. He was dedicated to his career and never indulged in love. It is said that no matter whether it's senior or junior sisters, even if they tried their best, he wouldn't pay attention. Gradually, people were awed and stayed away. But Alice still advised me not to lose myself because of a bouquet of roses. Love is not promised casually. Let me think carefully. At that time, she held Gui Jingming's books all day and compared the extravagance of New York with me. Speaking in Gu Li's tone, love without material is like loose sand. Without the wind blowing, it will scatter after just a few steps. Because the aloof flower is very poor. Using this reason to reject the rich flower of New York is always effective. Countless people regret and stop having any thoughts about him. Tony is really poor. He majors in software engineering. In all his spare time in 4 years of college, he was dealing with various projects. He ate in the cafeteria for 4 years. In a place like New York, he is an anomaly and is not swayed by any trend. He is poor, but open and above board. I don't care. I just want to chase him. He won countless awards in college. More or less, he is also a celebrity. As a newbie who just entered college, I chased him vigorously and often waited for him downstairs in the boys' dormitory. Alice often launched sarcastic attacks on me, telling me how many people asked her about me, how many people said that I would definitely give up in a few days, said that I would know to turn back after suffering. I didn't give up. I didn't turn back, and I really caught this aloof flower. Tony confessed to me, I am penniless. All my money has been used to pay off my family's debts. Even so, are you still willing to be with me? I thought for a while and asked him, how much debt is left unpaid? Will there be any follow-up troubles to deal with after paying off? Tony smiled and shook his head. The debt has been paid off. There are no follow-up troubles to deal with. Then what's there to worry about? In this way, the aloof flower officially fell into my hands. I didn't spend much time and energy chasing him. I know he also likes me. The way he looks at me is different from others. I have no doubt about Tony's ability to make money. Before, it was to pay off debts. Now, even if he has nothing and starts from scratch, he can live well. And he can also make me live well. He started his own company in his senior year. Before I found out, he and Peter and a group of brothers rented a simple office, ate takeout potato shreds and instant noodles every day and ran around to attract investment. After I found out, I invested $2 million. That was my study abroad fund. Tony didn't want to accept it at first. Haley, I can't eat women's food, let alone eat food from my lover. Looking at his thin cheeks, I felt extremely distressed. This is an investment. Do you understand investment? Can you deceive me who majors in finance? I spent a whole night telling him about the future potential of the software he is researching. With solid reasons, I finally convinced him. It's not given to him for free. It's an investment shareholding. I really am optimistic about the direction of Tony's research. According to the development trend of the internet and the country, the field of big data is definitely the direction of explosive development in the future. My vision is never wrong, whether it's looking at Tony or looking at the future. Tony has succeeded. I also have my own career. Because of the matter of studying abroad, I had a bit of a strained relationship with my family. But after all, they are my parents. They didn't think there was anything wrong with me using the money to support my boyfriend's career. Even they were willing to continue to support me to study abroad, but I refused. For the first time, my mother spoke to me in such a stern tone. Haley, Mom can understand everything you've done. I believe this is because of love. Because in love, one can often give everything, but I will definitely not agree that you change your life direction. Change your original life trajectory, or even change yourself for a man. The most important thing in love is to stay awake. But I don't feel that I have been changed. After graduation, I started as a clerk in my parents' company. And because of the forward-looking nature of his research direction, Tony quickly rose to the wealthy class. It wasn't until I returned the $2 million dividends from Tony's company to my parents that our relationship warmed up again. It's not because of this money, but because they finally recognized that my original decision was not too bad, but it was definitely not right either. I shouldn't change myself for anyone, including my future husband. And I should not help a man grow. In my mother's eyes, this is no different from feeding a tiger with one's own flesh. In my mother's eyes, I am still a child. Aside from my investment vision, she thinks I am just lucky and bet on Tony's character correctly. Tony is a perfect lover. He remembers every anniversary and gives me a full sense of ceremony. He loves me very much, to the extent that sometimes I wake up hot in his arms in the middle of the night, to the point that he spends all his free time with me completely. His brothers all respect me as their sister-in-law. My best friend no longer questions his feelings. The front desk of his company all knows that I am the wife. My subordinates all know that he is my brother-in-law. But why will all these fall apart one day? Is it because he got drunk at a business dinner on my birthday and even forgot my birthday the next day? No. At a certain banquet, someone asked him, "Do you have children with your wife?" He smiled and said, "This is my girlfriend. She is still young. Not so soon." The way others looked at me changed. In the eyes of those in the upper classes, a girlfriend and a wife are different concepts. A girlfriend is his attachment. A wife is his equal partner. They are different. Even in the eyes of his business partners, we should be a couple with children. However, Tony seems not to have realized it. Since then, I have never accompanied him to a banquet again. I just don't want to hear him introduce me to others again. This is my girlfriend. Am I eager to get married? Do I want to get married soon? I am only 25. Not being married at 25 is not something surprising, strange, or rare. But in front of our 7 years of relationship, it becomes a natural and reasonable thing. I am not disappointed that we are not married. But he has never thought that one day we will get married. He has never mentioned his family to me. As for why, he didn't say before, and I didn't ask. Now I don't want to know either. Asking is useless. If he wants to, he doesn't have to wait for me to ask. 7 years of relationship can't be forgotten just like that. A sudden gap in life can't be filled just because one wants to. Tony's company can't come up with so much cash flow at once. My shares are paid half according to the market price first. The remaining dividends are transferred to my account every year. It's completely enough for me to live a carefree life for a lifetime. Everything is cut off. In these 7 years, I haven't even gone on a trip or gone shopping much. The study abroad plan that was put aside back then was also abandoned. I have even forgotten why I wanted to study abroad back then. I am recuperating at home. Whenever I go out, Rocky pushes me in a wheelchair. I don't even need to walk. I am determined to forget Tony. I quit my job and cut off my social life. For a while, I have nothing to do and don't know what to do for the moment. Alice is worried that I will be devastated because of a broken heart. She comes to bring me barbecue, but she didn't expect that I am living so comfortably and don't look like someone who has lost love at all. There is even a little milk dog butler. Envy and jealousy are overflowing from her eyes. I say, Haley, it's already the 21st century. Why are you still living a feudal life? If you continue like this, you won't even be able to go to the bathroom by yourself. Thanks. I will run home when it rains. Rocky fully implements the needle in a haystack service. I heard that he even went to Hidalgo to learn from them. He learned a cool nail art and practiced on my injured foot. Even the bandage for changing dressings is tied into a Hello Kitty bow. The feeling of being served really makes one want to be lazy. If I get used to Rocky's service, what if he goes back after I recover? I heard that it takes 21 days to form a habit. Now I am constantly wavering between driving Rocky away and keeping him. Driving him away doesn't match my status as a rich woman now. How can a rich woman do her own things by herself? Keeping him will affect my search for a second spring. It's really difficult. Miss Haley, I see that your foot is almost healed. Let's go have some fun. I tell you, I recently found an excellent lounge bar. There are different handsome guys singing every day. I know she doesn't want to have fun. She just wants to distract me. In the eyes of others, after I broke up, I really seem to be listless because of emotional wounds. Only I know that I am slowly letting go. When Tony took out that ring, I knew that my 7 years were not in vain. Having a decent ending at the end of the story already satisfies me. I just haven't adapted to the days without Tony for a while. But time will eventually heal everything. I can't be indulged in the past forever. I don't regret the 7 years with Tony. I am glad that my memories are still beautiful. But people always have to look forward. There are many more 7 years in my life. Miss can't drink before her wound heals. Rocky is inlaying diamonds on my foot. Oh, I say, little handsome guy, why are you like Haley's butler? Perhaps it's the strange sixth sense of this creature called best friend. There will always be a strange hostility towards the men around one's sister. If Miss is willing, it is my honor. What is this kid saying? Why is it so ambiguous? Does he want my money? How many handsome guys can resist the temptation of a young single rich woman? Coming to this lounge bar is really a fruitful experience. He doesn't want my money. This rich young master is playing cosplay on Earth. Originally, we were having a good meal. Suddenly, someone came to greet Rocky. Manager Rocky, why didn't you say anything when you came? How can you let you spend money in your brother's place? TSK. In a flash, Orchid Western Restaurant and Rocky have a strange connection. One is called Orchid, one is called Rocky. The pronunciations are so similar. I said why it's so coincidental. Rocky, who is always smooth in interpersonal communication, freezes there. His bright face is wearing an awkward smile. As if he did something wrong, he glances at me secretly while socializing. Perhaps his gaze is too obvious, so that the other person has to notice me. Oh, you are accompanying your girlfriend to eat. Then I won't disturb Manager Rocky's date. Enjoy the delicious food and drinks. This meal is on my brother. Let's get together well next time. After the person left, I quietly said, Manager Rocky, it's hard for you to lower yourself and serve me for so many days. Rocky has a mournful face and can't hold the posture of a butler at all. I am a bit curious. Why is he making such an expression? I don't eat people. Come, sit down and talk. I really want to know why. Are you incognito to experience the mortal world? I swear I am definitely not being sarcastic. But these words sound completely different to Rocky. He should be younger than me. He has just entered society for a few years. His skin is thin. He blushes all the way to his ears. I just want to chase you. Sister, I like you. Be direct. Sometimes beating around the bush is not as effective as being direct. This is the most direct and obvious way. I hate vague ambiguity and probing. Like is like to the point of leaving no way back. For little girls, ambiguity may be more appropriate. But sister has already understood when Aunt was killing fish in our T-Mart. My heart has long been as cold as Aunt's knife. When I heard Rocky confess, my heart was completely unmoved. I even wanted to laugh a little. Sorry, I really laughed. I really laughed because I couldn't hold it back. Alice's eyes scanned between us. Then she sneered and said, Okay, Haley, I thought you were hurt emotionally and needed comfort. I didn't expect that you had already hooked up with such a handsome younger brother. I rolled my eyes. What are you talking about? Am I such a casual person? How do I know if you are casual or not? Haley, you have changed. You are no longer the Haley I knew. You have degenerated from a domineering female president to a lazy rich woman. As a person as rich as me, I have already worked hard for my job. Alice, in the past, our women had to support a sky by ourselves. Now I can eat alone until I die and I won't be hungry. I coldly popularized the cruel reality to her. People will change. Rocky, this little tender grass, is not enough for us to look at. But he is very persistent. He is still chasing me. The next day, I thought he wouldn't come anymore. But he came even more formally. Dear Miss Haley, do you need an exclusive butler? Delivered to your door. Honest and reliable. You have tried it. Are you satisfied? I forced a smile. Satisfied, but I don't need it. For this kind of little peach blossom, one should cut it quickly and leave no room. When I was about to close the door, a slender hand held onto my door frame. I brought you milk fish slices and white jade pig's trotters soup. Come in. No other meaning. I'm hungry. I rejected Rocky, but he doesn't seem to care at all. He prepares delicious food every day and comes to do laundry, cook, and clean for me. He is considerate and meticulous. Even the girl is not as virtuous as him. To capture a woman's heart, one must first capture her stomach. This is what Rocky said. I have to say, he is quite good at grasping the key points. But why is Rocky so proficient in cooking? Sister, Orchid Western Restaurant is my family's private cuisine. The craftsmanship is passed down only to men and not to women. There is only this one, no branches. At that time, Rocky was wearing an apron. His broad shoulders and narrow waist were fully exposed. A pair of long legs were standing there. On the contrary, I felt that my own kitchen was a bit small. Those dishes that sister likes to eat are all my specialties. Are you sure you don't want to take me home? Come on, you are already in my house. The food is in my mouth, but this doesn't prevent me from being ruthless. It's always those few dishes. No matter how much I like them, I will get tired of them. It doesn't matter. I can always learn new ones. In this case, I admit that I am a little tempted. Who can resist the temptation of a young and good-looking guy with excellent cooking skills? At first, I thought I couldn't, but now I have changed. I think I can, just like what I said to Alice. People will change. As long as one doesn't change for others, it doesn't matter if one changes 72 times. When Alice knew that we were together, her expression didn't change. She just sneered. I already knew this would be the result. Humph, woman. She is just jealous that I have a boyfriend and she is still single. Alice proclaims every day that she has 18 boyfriends. However, up to now, I haven't seen them appear. Being with Rocky is not a hasty decision. Rocky is only 23 years old and just graduated from graduate school. However, he is urged to get married by his family. He has a childhood sweetheart. The two are simply the golden boy and jade girl in the eyes of the elders. Originally, the elders planned to bring them together and get engaged this year, but Rocky resisted extremely fiercely. I don't want to be with her at all. She doesn't like me at all. I don't know why in this era there are still people who want arranged marriages. Rocky's childhood sweetheart used him as a scapegoat. She got accidentally pregnant when she was with her boyfriend. She didn't dare to let her family know. She could only ask Rocky to accompany her to have an abortion. As a result, a doctor they knew told Rocky's father. So Rocky, at the young age of 23, was forced to get married. I took a sip of the pig's trotter soup without any oil slick. It is fatty but not greasy. I won't get tired of drinking it every day. So you want to find someone to get married? Rocky looked up at me. No, I can't see any future when I am with others. When I think that I will spend decades of the rest of my life with them, I feel that the future is blank. But it's different when I am with you. I will feel very happy every day when I cook for you. I have also thought about us going on our honeymoon in France and feeding pigeons in the square. If you are willing, we can have a little girl. You can choose the formal name. The nickname can be Tang Tang. Bah, who wants to have a baby with you? I took a bite of the pig's trotters. However, I can consider dating you first. Rocky jumped up all of a sudden. He is also like Tigger. I even feel that the people around me are all possessed by Tigger. Rocky's efficiency is outrageous. Less than 2 weeks after we started dating, I met his family in Orchid Western Restaurant. I originally thought that his family wanted to match him with his childhood sweetheart, aiming for closer relationship. They should not be very fond of me, but it's completely not the case. I suspect he called all his aunts and uncles here. He stood beside me and introduced his relatives to me. He skillfully argued with his aunts. Auntie, if you have any questions, just ask me directly. Haley is meeting you for the first time. Don't be so fierce. Go away. Who wants to talk to you? You are so annoying. Is your aunt a matchmaker? Asking this and that. That's right. Mingzhu, go play by yourself. Can't we talk to Haley and introduce ourselves? I think so too. I am not socially phobic. It's just aunts and uncles. I can even turn an enemy into a friend, let alone these aunts. I think this development is a bit fast, so I decided to learn about Rocky from these aunts, including things like when the handsome guy was pecked on the butt by a goose when he was a child and there was a bruise left on his white and tender buttocks. When several aunts were revealing Rocky's dark history, I glanced at Rocky, who had just walked over, and my gaze moved down and stopped at a certain part. Rocky covered my eyes with his hand. Where are you looking? I'm looking to see if there is a bruise from a goose peck on Rocky's white and tender perky buttocks. Rocky darkened his face and forcibly stopped the endless tea party of his aunts. Then he pulled me to a deserted corner and kissed me deeply. What do you want to know? I'll tell you myself, sister. The atmosphere is really ambiguous, and I am really curious. Auntie said that you split your pants while playing basketball and you didn't even notice. Is this true? Rocky's grandfather is a kind old man. He is full of energy. He also builds up his grandson's favorability. Little girl, you don't know. This kid has had ulterior motives for a long time. Last time I came to find him and asked him when he would solve his personal problem, he still said that none of the people I introduced are suitable to be his wife. I asked him what kind of fairy he wanted to find as a wife, and he pointed at you. You came to talk business with your own brother last time, right? At that time, I thought that if he could really marry you, it would be his blessing. Everything Rocky did was premeditated. When he was forced to get married, he told his grandfather about the matter of his childhood sweetheart. This matter cannot be used as a reason to refuse an old friend. After all, it's someone else's family matter. It's not good to interfere or give hints. He can only let Rocky find a partner quickly so that he has a reason to refuse the other party. As a result, Rocky is extremely stubborn. Love cannot be forced. Where can I find a partner now? You don't like the ones I introduced. There are so many good girls. Are you looking for a fairy? Rocky's father said angrily. Rocky's elder brother is already married. This unruly guy has not even seen a trace of a girlfriend for so many years. The only one who is relatively close is the girl he has played with since childhood. He thought this kid liked her. As a result, now it's an awkward situation. Rocky pointed at the elegant seat by the window. There sat a girl as bright as snow. She is natural and graceful. Her manners are proper. At a glance, one feels a brightening. That's the wife I want. It's a pity that she has a partner. For this sentence, Rocky's father almost picked up his walking stick to hit him, until the grandson repeatedly promised that he would definitely not destroy other people's feelings. You kid, just stay single. The person beside her is not an ordinary person either. If you dare to be a male mistress, the old man will break your dog legs. Unexpectedly, heaven is kind. Originally, he just pretended to be a customer service. When it was her birthday, he gave her a free order and sent her a small gift. The person one likes cannot be touched. Start from affection, stop at propriety. Unexpectedly, she would come to eat alone. Seeing her taking off her shoes and eating heartily, Rocky felt that the fairy also eats mortal food. And he also knew the good news that she was single again. So he waited for the opportunity to act. His surging love became a tide that could no longer be suppressed. The wedding date is approaching, and Rocky's childhood friend comes to find me. She says she's pregnant with Rocky's child. I'm so stupid, really, she says. I thought I could just let go, but I didn't expect I was carrying his baby. It sounds like she's joking. I've been dating Rocky for over 6 months, and her belly hasn't shown yet. Either Rocky, who cooks for me every morning, is a ghost, or the baby in her womb is not developing well. Before I can say anything, Rocky shows up. I don't know what he said to her, but she bolts out of there, terrified. Rocky's disgust is obvious, and while I'm still processing it, he's already grossed out to the extreme. He leans on me, complaining, "Wifey, if it weren't for you, I'd be terrified of marriage because of her. You don't know how scary she is. Back in high school, she dated someone and framed me for it. After all these years, she's still pulling this kind of stunt." I pet the handsome guy's head, mastering the art of nonchalance. "Really? You must be suffering. When I got married, I didn't send Tony an invitation, but Peter came over. Since my sister is getting married, how can I, as her brother, not come?" He presents me with a bunch of white roses. "Red roses can only be sent by your brother-in-law. I'm not romantic, so I picked white roses for you. Sis, congratulations on your wedding, we'll always be siblings." I hug the flowers, nodding with a smile. That bunch of white roses became my bouquet, which I tossed into my group of bridesmaids at the wedding. Alice pounced to grab the flowers, along with my former rival, now a friend, and a bunch of famous Iron Lady demons, grabbing flowers without caring about their image. Goodbye. 7 years. In the future, there will be countless 7 years, with Rocky holding my hand, walking together through it all. Rocky has really planned every year we'll be together, and Alice is amazed. Getting married can actually make you feel young again? Look at you, lively like Winnie the Pooh. You used to never have time to play with me, but now all your time is taken up by your man. Haley, do you even care about me anymore? You're just jealous. Why don't you get married? Pfft, you think I can't find someone? I have 18 little fresh meats. I could change one every day for half a month. Who's going to hang themselves on the same tree? Yes, your 18 little fresh meats are waiting for you. Go play with them. Haley, you really don't care about me anymore. Peter's side story. I started shipping Tony and Haley back in college. You know how it feels to ship a couple for 7 years, thinking they could never break up, only to see them be? I was the one crying the hardest when they split. It was gut-wrenching. I was frustrated, thinking, why didn't you two just get married earlier? Such a good pair, and now they've scattered apart. I cried while drinking. What are you two doing? How could you? They obviously loved each other, yet ended up apart. I hated my tight lips. A year ago, Tony asked me to help him plan a proposal. They were finally going to get together, and I was happier than anyone, keeping the secret tightly locked away. But later, I cursed my mouth, wondering why I couldn't spill the beans. If only I had loosened up a bit, maybe things would have turned out differently. But I couldn't say anything. If I did, would it still be a proposal? Would it still be a surprise? Slow work leads to fine results, but this is what we ended up with. I watched them grow from college to now, building a family and a career. My sister is such a great person. As a wife, she couldn't be better. When Tony started his business, we could only afford one meat dish when dining out. My sister didn't know at first, but when she found out, she took us out for nice meals every 1st and 15th. She was the first wealthy beauty I met, but unfortunately, she's already with Tony. Back then, I was young, thinking that was love. The last person I viewed like this was Leon Kfai. His wife was also a wealthy beauty. I heard that during tough times. His wife paid for dinner in advance, having the waiter tell him it was discounted. Where do you find such a perfect wife? Tony was the lucky one. Tony's personality is steady and calm. A few times, when we faced business crises, he remained unfazed, then bounced back to work. With him around, we never felt hopeless about the future. Seizing the internet boom, we became successful, making a name for ourselves in this world. That day, Tony smiled bitterly. It was the first time I saw him defeated, and he hadn't even drunk too much. On this breezy evening, the symbol of love in my heart shattered. But I still believe in love, because Tony loves her. We once helped Tony with a problem, his father. Biologically, if not for him, Tony would have been an academic genius, just pondering unsolved mysteries, not worrying about the future. During college, he worked tirelessly, not just for the business, but for quite a while. He was paying off loans, His father gave him high-interest loans. That was a time my sister didn't experience. It was the hardest period for Tony, a person who should have been a child of privilege. Wearing faded jeans, took on various jobs, never disdaining small earnings. Other than contracting jobs, he seized every opportunity to earn, even selling flowers during holidays, paying off loans afterward. The consequences of not repaying were severe. Classmates and teachers would be harassed by debt collectors, and private lending disputes weren't protected. While repaying debts, to prevent further loans, he also had to support his father's lavish spending. As fate would have it, in the first year with Haley, his father was imprisoned for fraud. In the 5th year with Haley, he was released. By then, our business was improving, and Tony wasn't the same Tony anymore. His father wanted to rely on him for life. Not possible. If he couldn't get money from Tony, he'd come to us. Of course, we'd give, since he threatened us. After all, the economic dealings between father and son might not be recognized, but we had no such ties. Initially, his ambitions grew, but later, he was unsatisfied, trying to reach into my sister's pockets. What he didn't realize was, the amount he demanded was huge, constituting the highest penalty for extortion. Finally, this trouble was resolved, and Tony started planning the proposal. Business entered the next growth phase. That day's networking was indeed purposeful. I thought it would end after dinner, but the other party's demands lingered. In business, it's best not to leave things unfinished. Reluctantly, we had to accompany them. You can't really say much. We can only share hardships, not joys. Just to say, life is unpredictable. His life is full of uncertainties. After this, there'll inevitably be more. He can't provide clear answers for many things. Just like no one knows if another unscrupulous relative will emerge, disrupting his life. Sometimes I think, if he had spoken out, my sister would have faced it with him, together solving everything, which isn't a bad ending. Tony looked at the ring, tears falling like beads. Do you think I don't want to marry her? From the first day I was with her, I wanted to marry her. There are too many uncertainties, Peter. I can't give her a stable life and future. The white roses at the wedding were from Tony. He couldn't attend, so I stood in for him. My sister is clever, she would surely guess. So the white roses replaced the bouquet. The white roses stood in for him. Love passes from one hand to the next. Alice's side story. What can I say? I had predicted Haley and Tony's breakup long ago. At first, when she was with Tony, she was really just a love-struck fool. But as Tony became successful, I had to admit she picked a promising stock. After all, Tony was broke. He even made money by transporting luggage when school started. Haley was too innocent, spoiled by her family. I may not be good at much, but I have a knack for reading people. The moment I saw Rocky, I knew he had ulterior motives for Haley. It's no surprise someone would fall for Haley. That's completely normal. In college, she was surrounded by admirers. She's used to it and rejects them decisively. How could someone like her lack suitors? She was just dazed by Tony. I've seen many promising young men at her parents' company, each with sparkling resumes, yet she turned a blind eye. What kind of charm does Tony possess? A disaster of a man. Now, with Rocky, a good husband, she's finally saved. Haley should be pampered in a honey jar. How could she suffer with Tony? Enough said. Haley is pregnant, acting all delicate day by day. Rocky cooks her pregnancy meals at home. Is this the joy of finding a younger man? Maybe I should find one too.